It's been over a month since I got my hands on the 2025 model of the ROG Strix Scar 18 and the G18. Last year, I reviewed the 2024 model of the ROG Strix Scar 18, which housed a RTX 4090 alongside an Intel 14th gen processor. What I said in regards to that model was basically it is the pinnacle of gaming laptop. It is for the top end user, and you're not ready for it. It is no different with the 2025 model. It is housing the latest Intel Ultra 9 processor. You can go up to 64 gigs of RAM. There's so much you can do with this, and it's very user-friendly and designed with the most intelligent engineering I've seen in a gaming laptop. The way I'm gonna structure this video is I'm gonna be as easily digestible and approachable as possible. I'm not gonna go super ultra detailed on the specification of what's underneath the laptop, because there's a ton of videos that just do a fantastic job that I don't want to really be known for that. I want to be known for the guy that knows his shit, but he's also like an intense gamer. And that's what this laptop is for. This laptop is for the ultra high-end gamer, those that want to shell out for the best of the best, to be able to play at a esports level competitive nature on the go. Now, there are several Scar models of these gaming laptops, and the ones I have to review is the G18 and the Scar 18. Regardless of the model you end up choosing, they all come with the Intel Ultra 9 275HX processor. This one is a mobile chip variant that comes with 24 cores up to 5.4 gigahertz on turbo mode. That also takes about 80 watts of TDP. GPU options go as low as obviously an RTX 5060 all the way up to a 5090. There's options that goes from 32 gigabytes of RAM all the way up to 64 gigs. You could also update the RAM yourself in a toolless fashion. RAM chipset is DDR5, and there's offers up to 4 terabyte of PCIe M.2 SSDs. There's multiple slot options that you can upgrade further if you want. They are Gen 4, they are not Gen 5, unfortunately. And cooling management is, to me, the biggest selling point, because obviously if you have an overheating laptop, your performance will degrade over time. The thermal design is end-to-end vapor chamber with a tri-fan layout that is sandwiched within a heatsink, and also the CPU is cooled with a conductor not liquid metal. Now, what that does for me is I typically play video games with the highest graphical option possible, and noise reduction is key here. There is an option for noise control. You can go as quiet as -35 dB up to 50+ dB depending on the type of graphical settings you play. I typically play at ultra settings regardless of the game. It's relatively quiet for me. I would say is about the 45 dB range when it comes to fan noise. And just like the previous model, there's the Advanced Optimus and Mux switch. I turned off the Mux switch personally because just like the previous model, there seemed to be some issue with the way it functions. My screen would go black for some reason during mid-game, and there's no way for me to fix that other than force restarting the laptop. And obviously force restarting the laptop is a no-no, so I turned it off. And typically I like to manually adjust my settings myself, so it wasn't much of an issue. I find that Mux switching is a problem here at the moment, and I think a firmware or a BIOS update can fix that. But in the meantime, for me personally, a month and a half in, I don't have it on. See, as an AV guy, panels are very important to me when it comes to a gaming laptop, and the Strix Scar 18 and the G18, bar none, is the best panel I've ever seen across any laptop I've ever played. I have the 18-inch model, and this one is a 16:10 aspect ratio. It is a mini LED Nebula HDR, goes up to 240 hertz, about 3 millisecond response time, and the nits go up to 1100. The contrast in this is damn near OLED. There's 2 layers of contrast to reduce like reflections, which actually does, reduce reflections, and the color pop out is of course amazing. The entire aesthetic of this laptop has been refined with a matte black soft touch chassis that's upgraded with an RGB strip underneath the entire laptop, alongside a Anime Vision programmable LED dot matrix on the lid. As you can see in the background where ChrisArchitect has been running, that is entirely programmable. You can even put JPEG pics. It won't be colorful or as clear, but yeah, you can mess around with this and really do your stuff on it. Now, even with all this gorgeous matte finish aesthetic on this gaming laptop, it does not stand a chance against fingerprints. This is by far the most fingerprint heavy laptop I've experienced in a very long time. It doesn't change the fact that it's a pretty looking laptop, but it will attract your greasy palms with ease. Unlike the previous model, there's no translucent plastics this time around, so like you won't get like that cool see-through interface that the previous model have, which I actually have right here. That translucent appearance at the top, there's none of that. And just like the previous model, connectivity and I/O plays a huge part in this model. There's 2 Thunderbolt 5s for DisplayPort and power, alongside an HDMI 2.1 output, 3 USB-A Gen 2s, a 2.5 gigabit LAN, alongside a 3.5mm jack. It comes with Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4. Now, I've been using this laptop for a month and a half and I absolutely love it. I still have my older model because the 4090 is the last GPU that supports the 32-bit PhysX. What that means is the 50 series doesn't have that option anymore, and that impacts older games that I might want to go back to at some point in my life. So with the 4090, I'm able to just play games like Mirror's Edge or Mafia 2 with the PhysX option, and it won't be impacted by any of the legacy drivers that are absent in the newer GPU. Other than that, the ROG Strix Scar 18 is absolutely the best gaming laptop you can possibly buy in the market. It has all of the mega ultra gaming aesthetics you could possibly think of. The Anivision, the fucking ROG strips. It is completely bonkers, but it also has the minimalistic design that I usually like to go for a gaming laptop. Another thing that it does well compared to the previous one is that the mouse pad is positioned just a few centimeters away from where it was in the previous model, which in the previous model I accidentally far too often misclicked, because I do play mouse and keyboard. I use the keyboard on the laptop. I have space enough to use my mouse. I will misclick the left click of the mouse pad as I'm doing a move against somebody online or something like that. Again, the engineering is so well made that even minute details like that you don't typically think about is adjusted. Of course, the easily upgradable elements of this laptop and how gorgeous it looks to play on. It is by far the best in the market, and I don't think it's gonna be competable for at least a few years unless we get an RX 60 card out of nowhere in the next 6 months. This is the best you'll get. It is of course very expensive. Configuration starts at $2,700, and then there is a Micro Center exclusive that comes with 64 gigs of RAM in it. That goes for nearly $6,000. And yeah, these laptops are designed for you to be like, you know what, I want to consistently train in esports. For me, this laptop is excellent to experience games that I like in high fidelity on the go. So I won't get that reduced graphical aspect that you'll get from, like, for example, an ROG Ally X or something like that, where it's a very good portable machine, but you won't get obviously the best possible graphics that you can get on a game if you want to experience it the way I want to experience it. This machine, what it does is, hell, I can play any game in Ultra with the latest upscaler DLSS 4. I did forget to mention that this is a 2560 by 1600 resolution, so obviously there's no 4K. There's about slightly above 2K resolution going on here, but again, that is way more than enough for an 18-inch screen. Like, insanely amazing. Like, just by comfortable viewing distance, if you're playing with a controller, it feels like you're looking at a 32-inch screen if you were sitting by a desk. It's lightweight. I mean, it is heavy for a laptop, but like, I do carry it on this big ass bag, but again, it's very light to me. It can be heavier for like smaller statured person, but like, it's very thin for what it's housing, and it looks really good. And obviously there's some really good aesthetics. You can turn these off and it'll look really nice. So just like last year model, aside from certain caveats like the 32-bit PhysX missing in the 50 card, this is by far again the best gaming laptop, and I don't know if next year is going to be any different. I think what they should do is just stick with what they have now and just kind of keep promoting it, because it literally won't get better than this for a very long time. I mean, they can make an AMD version of this, Radeon chips and GPU, which would be an amazing thing because they're also performing really well for gaming. But again, it doesn't get any better than this. So yeah, I highly recommend this for the top end user that are esports competitive players, or ones that want like insane level of fidelity on the go, like myself. It is there, it is available, and it is very much worth it. I know I didn't talk much about the G18 version because it's essentially the same. It's supposed to be a cheaper model. It's actually supposed to be a hybrid of the Strix Scar and the Tough gaming lineup that they had last year, literally combined so that it could be a bit more affordable to like a lesser serious consumer. It has pretty much all the hallmarks that the Scar has: removable hatch, upgradable components, and the like. There you have it, the review of 2025 ROG Strix Scar 18 and G18 from a perspective of a hardcore gamer rather than a super technical person. Thank you very much for checking out this video. My name is ChrisArchitect from gstylemag.com. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe this channel so that I can battle the algorithm as best I can. I'm gonna link my socials below if you ever wanna have a conversation with me. I'm usually very active on X and TikTok. But yeah, with that being said, have a great night or day or wherever you're at, and enjoy, be safe, and be healthy.